4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another iconic episode of Create Now. This subcategory is production. Alright, so there's a good big back catalogue there, so enjoy that for yourselves. This is probably the 4th episode on production. So, sometimes when I'll just say experienced people listen to recordings of when I listen to recordings of beginners and so on, or else just tracks that just sound fucking all over the place, or just fucking people are like, oh, can you master this, can you mix this, but the track's fucking shit. And yeah, I can mix and master it or whatever, but the song's fucking shit. So like, what do you want me to do? I can make it sound loud if you want. I can put in you should listen. Alright, let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. There's a reason in the good old days, in the 90s, 80s, 90s or whatever, they would often spend, on big productions, they could spend up to 2 weeks just getting drum sounds. So they'd have close mics down the hall, they'd be trying out different drum kits for different sections of songs, recording some parts on kick drum and snare drum on fucking tape and the other parts on digital, and fucking mixing and matching different preamps, Neve, API, 1176s on the snare, DBX 160 all over the place. Microphones, condensers on tops, dynamics down below and stuff. Everything has its own certain place on the soundscape. So the drums are generally a bit more at the back. Okay, there's reverb and delay. Now, reverb takes up a lot of space and pushes things to the back. Delay can make stuff sound big, but not push them back. Okay, so that's huge. If stuff just sounds like a big pile of muddly shite, you got too much reverb on it. Now you need just a little hair of reverb. But if you start, just a little bit of reverb, not loads. Reverb's like the original autotune, alright? If you want to cover something up, something sounds fucking shite, you just fuck a lot of reverb on it, it'll be grand. Put it to the back of the mix, okay? So reverb pushes stuff to the back. Sometimes people have the singer without any reverb, and it sounds like they're singing inside your brain, and it's like, what is this going on? Sometimes you listen to a podcast and they have the lads right there in the phone, he's always getting on there, I'm on the fucking podcast, and it's like he's talking into your brain because he doesn't have any reverb on it. It sounds unnatural. That sound doesn't like naturally occur in the natural world. People don't have voices that low, that rumble, and people don't normally like whisper in your fucking ear. But oh no, it sounds good. There's a reason why radio microphones are the most used microphones for like sound recording. Look at the SM57, SM58, Sennheiser 421, RE20, SM7B. All these microphones were originally designed for voice and radio, because they carve out the specific frequencies. Our ears are tuned in to listen to the specific frequencies based on our survival mechanism. Just from staying alive, we need to isolate the human talking away from all the other chatter and noise going on, because they'd say, hey, there's a golf ball heading towards you, look out, and you'll say, oh, human voice, that's important, grand duck or whatever. When you first hear noise, you gotta be like, jump out of the way, and is that gonna kill me? And then after a while you start to, it's no longer a threat, and so on. Alright. So our ears are very in tune with the human voice, and other things are just kind of complementing it. And that's why it's so important to have a really good actor as a singer, because It's the human voice that people are listening to. A lot of people, they mix the record, they mix the CD or whatever. Okay, let's see, I'll quote Mike Dean. Mike Dean, Kanye West producer or whatever. You mix it until you think it's fucking done, and then you up the vocal by 3 or 4 dB. The big thing with mixers and all this stuff, when you have the big track in the orchestration, is the person who's making it is always like, right, that's the vocals, brilliant, done, that all sounds brilliant. But people don't have as finely attuned ear as the musician does for picking out all the different instruments and going, oh, that stuff there. So you need to make it easy for them. So you gotta have the vocal up loud. You gotta have the vocal up loud. Have you ever tried to play people music with no singer, and they're just like, when's the singer coming in? Do you ever like listen to instrumental bands and people are just like when's the song getting started? And you're like, this is the song, it's just fucking drums. And they're like, oh, alright. But if you get someone singing about, hey, I used to love her, now she's gone away. That was my impression of like a drunk lad singing. I don't know. Anyway, the human voice. It's all about the human voice. And you can complement it with happy or sad chords. Where is it happy? Here's sad. Alright. Are we being worried or are we being happy? Songs are used to tell stories throughout time. Fables and all that stuff. Alright, so last episode we were talking about instrumentation. We went through, there's never ending amounts of instruments and all this stuff, but we talked about the 4 main categories of the classical word for symphonies anyway. We got the fucking violin, viola, cello, double bass. Double bass can possibly be bowed, who knows. So that's the strings. We love strings, lovely. Then we have the woodwind. Again, there's loads of different woodwind, like fucking piccolo and all this shit. But the basic ones are flute up top. Oh god. Tuba down the bottom. Right, there's clarinet and there's another one. Bassoon. No. I've gone blank again. Have to check in with yesterday's episode. Man. I can't remember the flipping woodwind. Bassoon, clarinet, flute at the top, oboe. See, there's loads of them that aren't the specific ones for the old symphony jobs. So that's my excuse anyway. Right, and we'll keep moving. I talked extensively about the bass drum and kick drum, and people use different symbols for let's see, sorry, modern symphony. People use different instrumentation depending on the. So let's just to clarify, it's flute, horn, clarinet, and bassoon. So flute is the highest, then horn, then clarinet, then bassoon. All right. There's a variety of different woodwinds. There's like a reed you blow into it. Cause a fucking vibration to go down and gets amplified by the fucking standing waves, air things. Brilliant. Alright. Brass, French horn, trombone, tuba, trumpet on top. Okay, so that kind of harsh brassy sound. No, they're very, very loud instruments. And that's often, these instruments actually have to even play off stage because they're so fucking loud. Like trumpet and stuff, they're just too fucking loud. A lot of the production is about this. The reason why they chose those instruments is because it was best for the sound, what they were trying to do. They're trying to fill up these fucking halls with music because they didn't have CD players back in the day. So they had to get like fucking, right, we need, if we wanted this, if they wanted to turn up the volume, they just needed more players. So if they wanted to double the volume, they just got fucking, right, instead of one violiner we'll get 2, double the volume, grand. And that was their way. Like if they wanted more bass, they get just more bass players. And bass amplification was a fucking mess back in the day. They couldn't figure out how to... Anyway, so that's what they used to do. They used to use all these woodwind jobs. Because they didn't have amplification. They couldn't just have, you know, one drummer, like you do today, one drummer, one bass player, or synthesizer player, one guitarist, or a keyboard player, singer. The instrumentation is different, and it goes from different fucking ages. So, yeah, there you are. So when amplification came around, they were able to only have one bass player instead of having fucking 4 bass players because you couldn't hear the bloody thing. They also, when they were trying to and didn't have amplifications, they used to just build massive fucking they used to use massive double basses, like fucking ones as big as ladders, like, and they used to have one guy down the bottom fucking bowing it and one guy plucking it up the top. It's fucking wild, like, because they didn't know how to turn up fucking instruments, and that was like shit hot technology at the time, like, just building massive instruments, try and fill these big fucking rooms. So a lot of it's due to projection and the techniques, even the singing styles. The modern style is much more breathy and quiet because they don't need to sing loud and they can sing into a little microphone. That's why there's so many fucking shit singers right now. Oh, I said it. Oh. Back in the day, back in the good old days, before I was born, in Italy and all that stuff, you had one singer and he had to fill out to fill the whole fucking place up with sound because they didn't have microphones. So you just had to be good back in the day, and you didn't get days off. Didn't have yeah. So and also, you know, to fill these massive sounds, they needed loads of singers. So you got need to fill these big halls, right? We got fucking millions of singers, grand to get them to sing that. And the singing version, we've talked about how the woodwinds divide into 4, the brass divide into 4, and oh Jesus, woodwind, brass, strings. And voices, STAB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Yeah. So the main frequency groups which I want you to be aware of are bass and treble, that's high and low. Okay? Treble, bass. This will help you with all your EQ and stuff. So when you're in the car and there's fucking 2 knobs, this thing called equalizer. You want to turn up the low end. Sure, here's an example where we are. Here's up the low end. Do you hear that muddiness? And then here's up the high end. It sounds real tinny and shit, doesn't it? Here's loads of low end. Alright, can you hear that difference? Maybe you can't. Very muddy. And here's too much high end. Alright, too sharp. So if you just understand there's low, bass, treble, and then you got mid, which is the shit in the middle. You got high mid and low mid. If you can get that into your head, you'd be fucking grand. Fucking high, low. All the shit in the middle is just divided into high, mid, and low mid. There's loads of other stuff involved, but don't worry about it. So, we'll go through all the fucking things. This has to do with the frequency spectrum, EQ, and you're just balancing when you're making a production. Often you're just balancing between the low, mid, and high, and you're using all these fancy terms for different voices, but that's just what it is. Okay. So, gotta go through all these instruments. Right. So, electric bass. These are all instruments that are the low range, alright? Electric bass, bum 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 bum. Double bass, bum bum bum. Bassoon, I don't know what bassoon sounds like. Tuba, double bass, said that one. Trumpet, tuba, bassoon, and okay, grand. So that's the low. That's all the low shit. Now we're going up. Oh, and also a bass voice. I am a low singer. Low voice, Johnny Cash and the lads, right? Now we're going up. So that gives you the tenors. That's the tenor voice, which is the high voice, high male. Ah, this is a tenor. This is a tenor. Something like that, anyway. So you got that one. You got the cello. So the cello is the string instrument that's most closest to the range of the human voice. So people love cello. Same with bass, kind of. Not really. Kind of. Anyway, we'll keep going. Then you got the clarinet. So the clarinet, the cello, and the... What's the woodwind one? Clarinet, trombone, and cello. Right? They're the low mid. Alright? That low mid will also be like... palm muted guitars. Vocals that are done under an octave below for effects and shit. Drop tuned guitars. Alright, then we're getting into high mids. The mid range is kind of guitar-y thing. Anyway, right. Get into high mids. That's your guitar and your voice. Grand. Your high mids. Brilliant. Viola. Bit above the singing voice, but we're still in there. Bit of horn. Bit above the voice, but yeah, grand. Though that's getting into this. Sorry, that's getting into the soprano. Altos, violas, horn, and horn again. French horn is the brass one, and horn by the fucking woodwind. Must be a different kind of horn I'm thinking of by the woodwind. I don't know. Anyway, so they're all in the upper mids. All right. So you got the girl singers, the low girl singers. You got the viola on the strings, so it's a slightly bigger violin, and it's smaller than cello. Alright. We also have the fucking horn and French horn, which is very loud, and the old wooden horn. Alright, now finally we have the soprano, which is like the very high singing female. So that, the flute, and violin, right? Horn. Let's go look up the horn and woodwind here, because I think this is fucking horn and woodwind. Horn and woodwind. Why are... French horn is technically a brass instrument because it is made of brass. However, its warm mellow sounds blends with woodwind. Oh Jesus. Right, so we possibly a bit of a grey area there with the old... Jesus Christ. So some of these things are done by technicality. But I guess don't worry about it. Like there's some metal flutes, but the reed is wood, so that technically is a wood because that's the wood tones. And right, don't worry about all this stuff. We'll just... What's the smallest instrument in the woodwind family? Piccolo. Yeah, grand. Alright, sure, we'll keep it simple. Main woodwind instruments. Flute, clarinet, oboe, saxophone, bassoon. Flute, clarinet, oboe. What are the four main... Okay, here we go. What are the four main instruments? Flute, oboe... Jesus, it was oboe. Sorry about that, lads. Got it up me lad. Alright, let's change this as quick as possible. It's oboe, not O-B-O-E. So it was not oboe. Sorry, was not... okay, O-B-O-E is how you spell oboe. Okay, brilliant. Alright, so that really... I knew that wasn't right. I knew it wasn't a horn in the fucking woodwinds. Flute, oboe, clarinet, bassoon. Alright? Starts at the smallest instrument, highest pitch, goes down. Think of a big, massive Russian lad. Low voice. Think of a very, very small child. High voice. Very small register. Can't sing much of a wide range, but very, very high voice. Okay? Because the child's fucking tiny. Big old man. Alright? Hope you're not offending too many people. Alright, lovely. Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, that's the main instruments. You can keep going on with all these different instruments like fucking ukulele. That's more viola frequency, and you just keep going. But as long as you divide your instrument, is this element bass? Just if you just have only think yourself, right, 4 elements here: low, mid, high. Right? You're like, this section I'd like something a little bit more tickly on the ears, and you'd be thinking, right, maybe I'll put in a flute. Or else maybe a violin, because that's high energy, high frequency. Alright, and then if you're thinking percussion, right, what's a small little percussion instrument? Maybe a bell. Think of something small, egg shaker. Alright, so generally bigger the instrument, the lower the sound. There's toms, they're quite big, often bigger than the snare drum as regards depth, because I believe the snare drum is fucking between fucking 5 inches depth, 5.5, or else 6 inch depth if you're going fucking John Bonham, fucking Travis Barker, big jobs. But the standard I believe is 5, and the width is 14 inches, I think. So that's quite a snappy sound that has that metalness under it, which ups that high frequency energy. Anyway, I hope I'm not changing subject too many times for you. You poor lads. Alright. Voice. So yeah. I'm just going to agree with myself. I think that's probably the easiest way to think about stuff. Just 4 different groups. Low frequency, low mid, low middle, high middle, and the highs. That helps a lot with equalizers, stuff like that. EQing is when you arrange the frequencies and so on. Because a lot of this is just around creating balance. If you've nothing but low frequency, for example, if you just had a room full of fucking double bass players and someone only playing the low end, no, that's on the piano, and someone only playing the bass drum, it'd just be muffled and the room couldn't handle it for a start. You'd get the standing waves left, right and centre. So yeah, high frequency energy, low frequency energy. High frequency means it cycles more times per second. Low frequency means it cycles fewer times per second. 80 hertz is often used. 80 hertz and 130 hertz are frequencies often used for the bass on phones. Well, maybe. All right. Not EQ and specific frequencies. Specific frequencies, different instruments. Right. Some instruments can go across the full spectrum. Piano. Synthesizers, I guess, key-based. Samplers can go the full spectrum, but they start to get real messed up down low, and then there's a lot of what's that word? Like digital interference in the high frequencies. So rock band, anyway, you got the drum kit. Let's go over all the parts of the drums. So hi-hats, keep the time. Hit them with your hands, grand. Bass drum, that's played with the foot, the big drum. You got your snare, whack. Most important one. Crash, ride, ching 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 ching, or something like that. Toms, boom 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 boom. There's big low, big massive drums, and they go. And the smaller the drums, normally, because to do with the resonant frequency of the drum, you can have it tuned. As I said, you can try playing high note. You can try playing high notes on a fucking cello, but it doesn't resonate naturally with the fucking whole body, so it sounds a bit choked. Similar if you try to play a very high, play tighten up the skins on a drum, it can sound very choked. It's not really resonating. It's restricted by the size of the drum. So not all their harmonics are right where you'd like them. But people do it. Works grand. It can be very good for projection. Drums. So most important cymbals are the hi-hats, which is 2 cymbals put together, and that's held down by a foot pedal. So when you release the foot pedal, the cymbal goes. Hi-hats, the ones that go. That sound. That's the old hi-hats. You also use white noise for sculpting out some nice hi-hats. That's high frequency energy. So that would be in the treble range. A crash is like a once-off that you'd normally use to enter a section like the chorus. Like, yeah, it's the chorus now, let's go. You can also use a Telecaster for that. Open chords, that's an electric guitar. But I'm going to stay on topic. So when you don't have balance, for example, if you only have sopranos, egg shaker, this is an example of too much high frequency. If it's a song that only had soprano, egg shakers, hi-hats, what's other else high energy, piccolos, you just be listening to this like, which is fine, it's grand, it's good, but your ears will just be like, my fucking ears hurt. So that's why it can be good to have a bit of balance by maybe, instead of playing a flute, switching it to a bassoon, so you got something nice. It just keeps stuff, you can hear everything that's going on, because it just, when you have too much going on at one frequency, you just can't really make anything out. It's just a load of mess. Yeah, there you are. Because when you have a speaker, a diaphragm, your ears are just diaphragms and the speaker is just diaphragm. You're pushing something in and out, in and out, in and out. Think of the speaker, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And if the wave is allowing it to go in and out, it's fine, but there's all these phase problems and things going in and out at different times. The speaker's like, oh, what the fuck's going on here, lad? And it makes the speaker very inefficient, which fucking just fucks everything up. It's just the speaker doesn't know what the fuck to do. That's why often the best songs for dance songs is just, it has a kick and then there's a space and then like a snare, because that way the speaker gets to move in and out and really pushes the diaphragm in and out, pushes the eardrums, pushes the body even, pushes the whole body, gives the body a big poof. Whereas when you have something like just non-stop that's not really right. Just non-stop, the ear kind of gets used to it and starts to blank it out, and it really becomes fucking nothing. Yeah. So there, high energy to add excitement. Be careful with the low end. You can have shit going on. For example, the trick they use in hits, especially in the disco age, is they bring in a high C during like the chorus, and people are like, oh fuck, it's the chorus, yeah, fucking yeah, man. But that's in the high frequency. If you want to do it in the low end, you'd normally have it, because the low end makes the low end, if you play a low frequency, you can see the speaker fucking going in now, flip flap 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 flap. So if you're using a low noise, use it sparingly. So there you are. Drones. A big thing of music and music production is putting people in trances and creating a specific environment for the listener. So yeah, there you are. Going back to my original point, is that people record the drums and then they're like, right, I'll record fucking bassoon on top of this, grand, got bassoon. Right, let's get another fucking 16 cellos, grand, let's another 16 cellos. But they don't know what they're doing, and everything they put on, it sounds like they never listened to the thing that was put on beforehand. Like the drums might have loads of low ends, so they wouldn't be like, if it has so much low end, just think simple, balance. Right, we'll either EQ out the low end, which probably isn't an option, because maybe it's live, who knows. So put more high end in it, or fucking ask the drummer to play a bit quieter. Use volume orchestration, or fucking volume automation, which is where you draw the volume lines in and out, which can't really be done in the real world unless it's in post-production, or else you can do that's what the conductor does. He's like, fucking, right, you're quiet here, you're loud for this percussion, you're getting loud for this bit, you're quiet down there now for this. So that's the equivalent of the mastering engineer and audio engineer mixer just drawing in. You probably don't know this, but when you're mixing the big track, you draw like all the automation of the vocals and the guitars in and out for different sections, because the song needs to fucking breathe in and out. Because if you have just a distorted guitar going the whole way through the song, it just sounds like so you cause an audio illusion by going wah, 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 and then when the singer comes in, oh baby, you turn down the wah, guitar, and people subconsciously think it's still going on at the same volume because it's a trick. There you are. So loads of mad psychoacoustic things going on. I talked about way too much stuff today, so don't worry if you didn't understand it all. I'll keep tipping away at it, and sure, listen, that's it. Have a great day. Vegan Steven podcast. Keep going. Stay positive if you can. I know life's hard, but you're listening. We're on it together. See you there. Buy the merch downstairs. It's good shit. You can donate as well, and on the podcast every day. Subscribe. Good luck.